heard that story many times, and I have been that story myself. So that's true gratitude. Not saying that you have to do that, by the way, but that is true gratitude. True gratitude is, you know what? My mom had to sacrifice everything for me, and she raised me by herself. It sounds like I'm talking about me. And now I get to buy her all of the Chanel that she could ever want. Yes, I'm talking to you, Mom. You know what I mean? That is grateful. Now, do you have to do that? No, you don't have to do that. But there are many ways to show gratitude. But Four of Wands energy is, that gratitude is pouring out of me. I have rescued I don't know how many Pomeranians and have a Pomeranian rescue simply because I love Hoshi. That's an example. By the way, I haven't done that. I'm just saying. I mean, I do donate to Pomeranian rescues and other rescues, but that's a whole other story. I don't really get into that. But Four of Wands energy is that. It is this harmony. It is a balance in your life. It is building a community of nothing but high vibration. And I want you all to understand what I mean by high vibration. I'm going to give you the opposite because a lot of the time that helps you to get it. So there is a very popular, I guess he's a blogger or a YouTuber, and I'm not going to say his name because I don't want you all to be sending hate or sending that type of low vibration back. But this person is always has something negative to say about certain celebrities. And in fact, they always have, I'm going to give an example. They've said a lot of really negative things about Cardi B. Now, this is not me fangirling Cardi B because when it comes to, the rap girls, I like their music, but I am not a fan of anybody. I think the closest would be to Megan Thee Stallion. I think she's great, but I don't know her. So maybe she's not great. I don't know. But this person is always saying really negative things about Cardi B, but always big upping other celebrities that do the exact same thing Cardi B does. Okay. Now I'm not going to get in all of that, but they said, and this was just, I came across this YouTube video because it was in my recommendations. They said Cardi B is very low vibrational. And I took me aback because I thought to myself, what are you? What are you? Do you think you're high vibrational by what I just heard you say about her and many other women? That's concerning that you think that's high vibrational. And the reason I mention this person is that this person teaches manifestation. What? So you have the audacity to try to teach people about manifestation, yet you don't understand it yourself. Yet you don't understand that it's not about, I can manifest a car overnight. That's not, what? That's manifesting from ego, but that's not true manifestation. So this is what I mean. Think of what the opposite of that would be. Imagine coming across, let's say, a different blogger or YouTuber, and they have a very neutral way of how they talk about people. When they give you the news, it is just neutral. They don't seem to be on anybody's side. They tend to say favorable things about everybody. And even when people say, well, we want to know whose side you're on, they say, I'm not on anybody's side. I'm just giving you the news. That's it. Okay. Like we all might come across gossip and read it. And you might have your opinions, but the people who deliver that news, they can choose to be neutral or they can choose to be negative or they could choose to be positive. So imagine coming across somebody who is the opposite of that. They, on the other hand, say, you know what? I really like this song from Cardi B's new album. And they left it at that. And they went on with their life. That's high vibrational. You see the difference? That's what the difference is. The difference isn't, I'm pointing the finger at you while I'm doing the exact same thing. That's low vibrational. And so Four of Wands energy means not only am I high vibrational, I'm feeding that to everybody around me that I care for, and we are just helping each other build. That's Four of Wands energy. This community of every single thing that I touch turns to gold, and then everything they touch turns to gold, and then everything they touch turns to gold. I prefer rose gold, so let's make it rose gold. Everything we touch turns to rose gold, new moons. That is Four of Wands energy. That is the message from your highest self. Think like that. Think of building a community around you of nothing but happiness, nothing but thriving, nothing but true gratitude. All right. Now let's get into your highest self and what they have on. So dressing as your highest self is a form of magic all on its own. It's a ritual. And so when you create a ritual, you are easily manifesting. I want you to think of every thread and every accessory that your highest self would wear. And when you put that on, do it with intention. I understand if your highest self only wears Gucci and you don't own anything from Gucci. Do you own anything similar? For instance, Gucci's colors are green and red. Now I know you're thinking Christmas, right? But put it together in the best way that you know how. Maybe your highest self drives an expensive car. I want you to drive your car as though it is that. Talk about it as though it is that. Get it maybe hand wash it yourself even. Okay? Think of yourself. In fact, if you want to go test drive a car that's extremely expensive, just remember that those people get paid on commission. And I really hate, as somebody who used to sell cars, I hate wasting people's time. I was great at selling cars, but I really hated when my time was wasted, and I don't like wasting other people's time. So I'm not going to advise you to just go to a dealership and waste somebody's time if you're not actually ready to buy. If you're ready to buy, go test drive that car, okay? And don't give them your real number. They will blow up your phone. But I want you to think about what type of values that your highest self has, because it's not about just what you have on. What does your highest self behave like? What do they dream of? What goals would your highest self have? Because think about, this is you reaching your highest potential, the best version of you. So when you reach that, what will be your goals then? Will it be to just maintain where you're at? Will it be, I want to take over the world and these are my other goals? And if you would like to go further with this particular ritual, write that down. Write down, okay, when I have reached what I consider to be my highest self, I have the body I want, I have the hair I want, I have the clothes that I want, I am constantly giving to charity, I have my own charity, etc. Now what? What would you want then? Okay? And I want you to think of it like this. I see this as kind of a message from your ancestors. When you're dressing up as your highest self, you're not actually pretending. You're not. You're actually fulfilling something that your ancestors knew generations ago. Maybe they didn't get to do it. I oftentimes say that about Lua Nova. So what is your version of what Lua Nova is? Okay? What does that look like for you? And another thing you can do, just to, if you want to make it more ritualistic, is maybe even having a kind of like an altar nearby, and this could be something that I used to have one of these. I called it my self-love altar, and it had things on it that made me feel good, such as perfume, such as rose petals from flowers that I've gotten from Eric, or, it would have a tarot card like the Empress, things of that nature, because that is helping you to connect with the vibration of your highest self as well. And maybe for you, gentlemen, maybe you have your favorite cologne that even if it's just the scent of that cologne on your altar. Remember, altars don't have to be big. You can use an Altoid can to make an altar. It can be tiny. It can be something that you carry with you. And remember, you are the altar. So you can simply just be this. But if you want to that's just to kind of give you an example of something you can do to add to this. Okay. And I want to encourage you to think about the colors that your highest self wears, because colors are important. Colors mean something to us. You all know I love pink. That's my favorite color. I've never had any other favorite color, so I can't fathom a life where I wouldn't wear pink. I actually also wear a lot of black. My nails are black right now. And my highest self is going to continue to wear those colors, but definitely I'm always going to be surrounded with pink. So pink is important to me. Not only, of course, does it connect me with the divine feminine, it just connects me with who I am at my core. Does your highest self wear a particular color still? What are they like? What do they drink every morning? Do they drink coffee every morning? Do they just drink water? What is their day like? If you can, I want you to embody that for an entire day. So if you want to choose this holiday for this, that works too, but Remember, this is a time to celebrate